Hello and welcome to our next episode in our reviews of this season 5 of the 100. We just got done watching The Warrior's Will. I thought it was a pretty good episode. I enjoyed a lot of it, but there are definitely parts of it that I think could have been a little bit more interesting. The scene that comes to mind for me is the fight in the pit. I thought they were going to try and kill off one, if not two, main characters that we've known a long time. And I wasn't sure which one they were going to go with. I was actually really excited to see who they would choose. But then they ended up taking a different direction, bringing Monty into the pit, which immediately made me worried for Monty. I thought that they might try and kill him off because we were all concerned about other characters, but that wasn't the direction they took it. Instead, they burned the farm and forced a march, which I think could ultimately be more interesting than where I thought they were going to take everything, but it felt very anticlimactic, right?
hmm Yeah, I agree.
Like they were building towards one of them dying, probably Indra. Indra was totally ready to die for Gaia, and then Gaia was just like, I'm ready to die to protect my commander, and Bellamy was just ready to die to prove a point.
I mean, well, a lot of people were ready and or willing to die. Like Abby um, said to who did she say it to? Vincent, I think. It was just like take us out of our misery, or maybe that was McCreary that she said it to.
Oh, she didn't want to fix McCreary. McCreary said something really interesting to her, like, "Fix me, get your fix," and I really liked that line. I thought that was a really good line for him. He's once again a really interesting character, kind of scary, but I think well written. That line right there was great, and he's got I think more to him. I think they're kind of hinting at him having potentially a redeemable aspect. The fact that him and Diaz I think got together means there's more to him than they're showing. The fact that he's standing up for the people that were um, not really given a second chance in society, those that were kind of shunned away, uh, makes him kind of redeemable. But then every once in a while he'll just go around just killing defectors or whatever, just shooting them all dead. So it's like it's hard to see, or it's hard to really want him to be redeemable, but I think he could be. I think there's like they're waiting on showing you something. Maybe something's in the book or something that hasn't told them yet will make people think differently about the character.
hmm
What did you think about the
think
book? Or what were you gonna say?
um, I can talk about the book. The book was interesting. Damocles, an interesting idea. I mean, I don't think it's really like I don't know how much they're gonna go into it in the future episodes, but um, seemed interesting.
Well, I think they gave you that image there to kind of hint at where they're gonna go with the season or what could happen. They definitely did talk about Dios's plan to come back to Earth before the engines were sabotaged or whatever. She wanted to come back there, and I think used the fuel to do something really bad. And if you read through the text, it sounds like she was going to try and blow up a bunch of cities that didn't give them their second chance. If they weren't willing to let them reintegrate into society, she was just going to blow them up. And it seems like a very similar situation to what they've gotten themselves into with one crew. Like it's different people, but it's a very similar situation where are they gonna integrate? Are they gonna work together? Or are they just gonna kill each other off? So yeah, they may have to end up using that fuel for something that they weren't originally planning to do.
hmm I'm still trying to get the timeline right in my head because now I'm thinking like, oh, maybe like all of the prisoners did come back to like blow up the Earth, but it was already blown up and like so they couldn't do it. So they just went back into space. That
There's a
doesn't make sense.
there's so much. There's a lot of lore at this point. Like I was confused for a second when they brought up Becca. I was like, what's going on here? And then I remembered after I saw the actress. I was like, oh, that's Becca. Okay. All right, she's got all
Hmm.
those memories in her head too. It's not just Lexa we gotta be worried about. It's all of those other characters. And then I think she said something about some character on back like right after the original Prime Fire, probably the cult leader. She said something about like you think he's saving you and he's killing you. So
Hmm.
maybe they didn't trust her initially and she had to like get the cult to trust her, and when she didn't burn at the stake, maybe they did trust her, or maybe one of them used the flame after she died and they saw she was right. Who knows? I'm not exactly sure what the where they're gonna go with that, but I liked it. I thought that was a really cool like addition to the story. Like we don't know much about what happened to Becca after she landed, other than eventually she started a new civilization.
And she had at least one kid who
You
had black blood,
you think they're all her
right?
kids? Maybe she
Well,
gave she did the procedure with some other people. Not everyone, obviously, because not everybody's a Nightblood. There must be some
mm,
limitation to it. Maybe it's just trust. They don't trust everyone. I liked Abby in this episode. I really thought she had some great stuff, like with Vincent. Like I didn't think she that they'd actually be analyzed. I think you said something at the end of last week's episode about how you think that um, because she fixed him that he's gonna look out for her more. And I was like, I don't know. He's kind of a psychopath, and I think
yes,
they're
he is a psychopath, but Abby is also kind of not in a great place, obviously, since she just overdosed and tried to kill herself at the end of this episode. She has this like doctor slash mother caring instinct that she'll just take care of people, especially people who aren't accepted into normal, right?
mm-hmm.
As Vincent was when he had to still have the shock collar.
Yeah.
Um,
Kind of reminds me of Raven, how she kind of put trust in Raven, and then that really helped her out in the long run. And she got her pills, but like he ended up killing a bunch of people. Vincent ended up killing a bunch of people as soon as she got those pills, right?
yeah,
And then
because that's what addicts do.
what did he
They were
say?
really working with some dark themes in this episode, like, you know, I mean, they've been doing it more and more, but I thought it was particularly like a lot this time.
I enjoyed most of it. I think that the part I didn't enjoy was that the fight in the pit. That was really what I didn't enjoy. But for the most part, I think this season is a lot more interesting than I think the last one, or maybe even the one before that. I really liked season two. I thought that was their best season, and I think that what they're doing now is it's pretty close to that. It's dark, but it's not entirely hopeless. I mean, there's Monty. Monty's still trying to save everybody, and he seems to come in with a pretty good plan every once in a while. He might save them all. I think that Octavia's wrong. I think it won't be the Warriors that save them. I think it will be the farmers. I think Harper and Monty um, will and that little algae, whatever's left of his algae, will end up being what saves them at the end of this season. But we'll see. There's not many episodes left until the season's over.
Yeah.
This is episode 10.
I don't really think the algae is going to work.
No?
They've like no because they've brought it up like 3 or 4 times now. I feel like that's too many times to make it actually work. Like I feel like 1 or 2 times would have been fine, but it's been brought up like algae could save us too
Well,
many times at this point, in my opinion, for the writers to be like, yes,
he
it
did
will save them.
he did um he did say that he could recreate the process on the on the ground. Like he didn't have to do what he was doing in the bunker with the algae. Like if he had another set of plants, say from Shadow Valley, I think he could start up a similar process to bring life to other parts of the wasteland or whatever we're calling it now. I think that the algae still will come in useful. Like sure it isn't as useful as it could be after this episode, after Octavia burned it all, but um, I still think that there's a reason why Monty had that with him at the end of this episode. He walked away with some algae, and there was the other plant that they had with them with all the blossoms that didn't die in that fire. So hypothetically, I don't know what they did with that plant if they just left it at Polis or wherever, but um, that could be used eventually for something.
Hmm.
Let's see, what else did we have in our notes? Oh, I liked Octavia's line to Indra about like you accepted me when my own people wouldn't. I always thought like that was, it was something that you could figure out, but maybe not something everybody had thought about. And it's really cool to see her address it head on because not everybody's willing to confront those types of situations or relationships with people. And I thought that was really cool that she's like, I want to help you because you're a really like special person. Like not just to me, but you're a special person. Like that's not something that a lot of people would do. Even the great people of Sky Crew, the intelligent engineers and doctors, they didn't see that. They didn't have that value. You have real value. Even if you're not a like super educated person, you have a lot of value in your loyalty and um, you know, your trust and those types of things, right?
Hmm.
Indra had some pretty cool scenes. I understand why Octavia looks up to her.
I was just thinking about that. Like, if I was gonna write an essay on the 100, I would totally write about, or in like this episode, I'd write about like the like maternal like daughter relationships that are going on because they are whack all over the place. You know,
Like Maddie and Clark.
like
That's
Maddie and Clark is like kind of like a verging on like abusive relationship, honestly. Like, and super controlling. And like obviously Clark's own mother is like a drug addict, whatever, and Octavia is looking up to Indra as her mother, and that's not working out very well for either of them. And then Gaia is just like, whatever, mom, like, you know, I don't know.
yeah. That's what I was just about to say. Guy was the next one I was thinking of. I'm sure there's more that we're not thinking of. I mean, Raven's situation with her mom wasn't great either. She wasn't in this episode, but yeah, there's a lot of mother issues in this show. I guess all kinds of issues. It's a dark show, but it has its moments that are still pretty cool.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I like the. We didn't put this in the notes, but I thought the grounder that was advising Octavia was a really neat addition. I don't think she's been in any of the previous episodes, but she was pretty cool and honest. I really liked her line to Octavia when she said like, "I wish you would bend the knee to the rightful person, but I know you won't, and I'll support you if you want your army to march. This is how you get them to do it. You put your brother in the arena. Like, I
Mm-hmm.
disagree with you, but I am one crew." It reminds me a bit of like the other characters, but she's a tad bit more loyal to the idea of one crew in Octavia.
Yeah.
Definitely takes a lot of
Yeah.
bravery to say that type of stuff, I think. Oh, sorry, I cut you off.
I wasn't. I mean, I was just gonna say that it's interesting how Octavia how like the writers introduce like these new characters, these advisor characters who are like just we're expected to like you know uh accept them as advisors to Octavia, like, because I don't really think that that is realistic, that Octavia would just be like, yes, I need a new advisor, you are the new you know what I mean, like,
You
especially
remind
at
me
this
of
time.
Cooper.
Yeah, like it's just, it seems really unrealistic to me. And like maybe we're missing it, maybe this person was somewhere else, but I don't recognize them at all.
Well, it
And
may
do we
be.
even have a name for that person? Like,
I don't think so.
No, it's so weird.
We might see them in the next episode, which I think is going to be a bit of a flashback episode. It's called the Dark Year, so maybe she played some kind of big role in the Dark Year, and she helped out Octavia, helped her with some difficult decisions. Maybe she worked with Cooper. Cooper was Sky Crew, so I don't think they would have known each other, but maybe they got to know each other in the Dark Year.
Hmm, maybe.
That that I expect to be like one of their best episodes because they've been building up to that for a while. They've been referencing it and being like, nope, you don't talk about the Dark Year. And then like if you look up the names of the episodes, there it is, the Dark Year. It's coming, and that's super soon now.
Hmm.
Oh, you did write down in the notes about throwing the worms out the car at the beginning of the episode. They didn't seem to come back to it. I thought that that would that'd play a bigger role in this episode, but maybe it will play a bigger role in later episodes. Those worms are out there now. They bred them, and now I assume they're going to be some kind of problem.
Well, they are all marching on foot.
I'm sorry, I turned my mic off. There was a little situation in the background. I didn't hear like anything you said for 30 seconds.
Oh, okay. Well, it wasn't super exciting. Um,
It's getting pretty long, anyways. Do you want to wrap up the episode here?
sure.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I think it'd probably be a pretty good point. It's getting to be pretty long, but yeah, I really enjoyed it. Excited for the next one. If you enjoyed this episode, don't forget to leave a like and to subscribe to the channel in case you haven't done so already. We've got links to the social media. See you around for the next one.